probably at home doing the online stuff.
Bro, he is at home living his best life right now. He's not quarantining.
I'm living the best life. He's playing Far Cry.
He didn't even have it. That's a problem.
He's just not showing up.
Far Cry 6.
He said something about a state. He didn't want to get sick. All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about FRQ. Harmon. FRQ, you're going to have this big part. So, in AP exam, fundamental theorem of calculus takes about 10% of your test. So, it's roughly out of 108, you probably have 11 points. Okay, 11 points. So it's a very, very big part of the test. So imagine that you only need a 42 point to get a 3. If you got 11 just on this topic, and that doesn't require any math skill whatsoever. So it's like a 3 points. But a lot of people don't get this point is because they don't understand notations. So the understanding of notations, the calculation is easier than 4th grade. Okay, it's easier than 4th grade. So make sure you understand them. But you just have to use the 4th grade knowledge of calculation added to your calculus knowledge. Okay, Luca, pay attention. Put your computer away. So the thing about this is there is gonna be one FRQ. You don't need to write an essay for FRQ. You just need to write down the like sentences and make sense of justification and calculation stuff. And you're gonna have 2 or 3 questions on multiple choice just on this topic. So it's very easy point to earn. And also from the homework, the value homework, especially in the next 4 or 5 weeks, this is gonna cover 50% of the material. So please stay on top of your homework and doing well because you are practicing for AP exam right now because all the skills we're going to combine together with all the knowledge and the skills together. So we're going to learn how to combine those. Yes, Will?
So like even if you have all the right answers, you know, show your work you're doing wrong?
Yeah, you have to show the work, yeah. Okay. And you have to show certain things. We're going to talk about how does FRQ have to show certain things. So AJ is not even on then. I'm disappointed. So what we're going to do is we're going to highlight some informations. What we're going to do is highlight this part. The f is continuous function, and this is important, and this is important. And also this is important. So those are the important stuff, and I'm going to kind of talk about the f is continuous. Well, if it's continuous, it's probably differentiable if there's no sharp turn. So those are things that you had to pay attention to. Sometimes you could be write down f is continuous, going to be benefit you a whole lot on different things. So here what we're going to do is we're going to go through the questions. So first of all, there was a h of x. And this is h of x. Can you see on the screen or no?
Yep.
Yeah. But not on the chat though. So h of x, so we're going to say h of x here is equal to integration from 0 to x of ft dt, right? So this is the equation that they give it to us. The equation no longer h of x equal to some function is actually the integrate of some functions. And not only that, it has a boundary between 0 to x. So automatically you know this will have to be FTC. You don't have to have a title that says FTC. You understand this is FTC. Now, they say, hey, can you find out those information? So what information they want to find? They want to find out those 3 things. H of 3, H prime of 3, and H double prime of 3. Also, on top of that, you have to understand this. This function is not H of x. This function is f of x. So now I'm going to integrate this. Let's just say h of, I'm integrating. I'm going to find out what is the h of 3 is. So what would you suggest to do if I have h of 3 here? Yes?
Plug in, can you plug in 3 for x, then do that the same on the right side?
Yep, plug in 0, just replace the x, and they are very intuitive. Just write down like this, and you get the points. So the two things you have to understand in calculus, like I said, I can help you pass the AP exam without knowing any calculus. All you gotta know is two simple ideas. Definite integral is area under the curve, and slope is the derivative. And all the theory can be coming from algebra 1, and you should be good enough to pass with 3. I don't want you to pass with 3, but it's minimum. That's why I consider that, mediocre. But I don't want you guys to be mediocre. So between 0 to 3 ft/dt, so what will be the answer here?
Where's 3 of them?
I can't tell where it is. Is 3?
Am I zooming in?
Okay, I'm gonna zoom in just tiny bit.
11?
Oh, it's a
11, right? 11.
Okay, it'll be 11. So yeah, so basically you're just counting them, right? So like I said, you don't need a calculus skill to do this. That's pretty much like even my son can do it, 3rd grade.
AP count.
No way.
Counting.
9, 10, and 11. So 11, so it's equal to 11.
AP counting.
AP counting, there you go.
Actually, a bunch of triangles, not a square.
Okay. Now, the next part gets more interesting, but next part you want to assess what's h prime of 3. And then you say, well, first of all, what is h prime of x? Do you guys know what's h prime of x?
Yes.
What is it?
Well, if h is the definite integral, right? Then h prime is just f of x.
Exactly. And I'm going to show you the work to get there. You don't have to show this work on AP exam. The only thing matter if this is x or x squared, it might change. So that's why I show the work. So most of the time they do give you x. But one question on your homework is going to give you, like say, 3x plus 5. So that will be a little bit different. So in this case, that if you know that h of x is equal to, now this one you don't need to show, but you do need to show one thing. So ft dt. So if I take a derivative of this, I'm sorry, I'm going to take an integral of this first. That's just h of x equal to, if I integrate small f, that's going to give you big F of x minus big F of 0. And if I take a prime of this, it's going to be f of x times 1 minus f of 0 times 0. So that's equal to f of x. So what's nice thing is you come up with this, which is that's what Will says. Now, what Will says is very important. You have to write down to earn points. This can earn you 1 point on AP exam. And 1 point is there's no calculation. It just understand fundamental theorem of calculus. No calculation, f prime x equal to f of x. Boom, done. 1 point. Move on. So that means h prime of 3 is equal to what? F of 3, which is equal to what? 2, that's it. The output at 3 is equal to 2, like here. Harmon, are you looking at here? Looking
Wait,
at.
so you said, wait, how do we know that h prime of x is f of x here? Is it just because h of x equals the integral of f of x?
Yeah, and I show you the process of that because if I integrate this, right, I'm going to get big F of x minus big F of 0, just like yesterday. And then if I take a derivative on both sides, the big F becomes small f, and times derivative inside is 1, minus f of 0 times 0. So therefore, anything times 0 is going to be 0, then it becomes f of x. Now, what Will did, it just says that's fundamental theorem calculus. That just means h of x equal to, h prime of x equal to f of x, and that's it. You can do that way.
Is that an assumption you can make anytime, like one letter equals another?
Most of the time, but if I change the boundary to, let's just say from x to 2x, then you would have f of x times 2. So it can alter the equation of the derivative. So you have to pay attention to the chain rule. If it's just 0 to x, yeah, it's always going to be the same thing. It's always going to be h prime of x equal to f of x. If the boundaries switch or change, which is they can on AP exam, anything is fair game. Got it?
Yep.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna find out what is h double prime. Well, if we know h prime of x equal to f of x, what's h double prime?
F prime of x.
Wow, this is so hard. This is so hard. You guys got this, right? So what's the h double prime of 3 is equal to f prime of 3? What is that equal to?
Negative.
Why?
Because the slope is negative.
Right, so if I'm asking for f prime, right, that means I'm looking for slope of f of x at x equal to 3. So therefore is, look at the right over run, so it's going to go down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. So it's going to be negative 2. And that's it.
Wow.
And you earned 3 points on AP exam. Now let's see how to earn the next one. So let me ask you this one though. This is a little bit more difficult, right? So they say which set of value as f of x is decreasing. Now they say it's h, not f. So you gotta pay attention to that. So what do you think that will be? Will?
Is this graph the function or the derivative?
This graph is fx. Yes, huh?
Is it from 4 to 12?
It's 4 to 12. Why is that?
Because from like 4 between 4 and 12 is like where the slope is in the negative. I mean the line's in the negative.
Okay.
X is negative.
So let's go back to look at his claim. Is B, well, B is, so we're gonna answer part B now. They say H is decreasing. Now remember in calculus, when something is decreasing, that means derivative. Does that make sense? So that means H prime of X is negative. So negative, we're gonna say write down less than 0. If something less than 0, it must be this. So that also means h prime of x equal to f of x, though that means f of x is less than 0. Does that make sense? And if f of x is less than 0, that means f of x is below x-axis, which is between 4 to 12. Now, pay attention to boundaries. We got 4, x, and 12. Is it going to be greater than, less than on each side, or what? What's going to be the thing? I know you know. Any other people? Let's see.
I said that was greater than or equal to and less than or equal to 12.
Okay, so greater, it's less than equal to, right?
Yeah.
And this one's greater or equal to?
Yeah.
There's something wrong with that, right? Where's wrong? Yes, huh?
Or is that 0? So it's so it should be just equal. It should be just less than.
Yep, so it'll be just less than. So because of 4 is not really less than 0, so it's actually 4 to 12. Now interval notation is going to look like this. If you want to show AP exam that you can different notation, it's going to be bracket like this. Bracket is going to be including 4, comma, bracket 12. Am I going too fast for people? Everybody okay?
This is slower than you normally go.
Yeah, this is,
I'm following
this is a
along
little
well.
slow, mister.
No, because this will give you a lot of points. It's easy, but I want you to make sure you can earn all your points.
I would say we're going the right speed because I'm following along pretty
Take
well.
your time, mister. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do C.
This is just straight up graph reading though, in all fairness.
Yeah.
It's not like it's that deep.
So if you really think about it, in the future, right, the artificial intelligence can do a lot of things better than human beings, or like math way or simple lab or things like that. That nature, that's going to be a lot better than human can. But reading information, we still are a little bit better as of right now. As of right now. Later on, they can read information just as well. The problem just creating, but they can create. No, they don't create as well. So, so they cannot come up a mathematical proof, but you can. So that's the things that you have to be able to. So math in the future, I believe it's going to be more analyzation and proof. That just, I think the trend is going to, because everybody can math their way through to A, which has happened to most of you guys last year. So you know, but the thing is analyzing, thinking what happening, that's very, very important. So at what value x does h attain its maximums? Yes, Andrew?
4.
Why 4?
Because since it's all positive before the number 4, that means it's increasing all the way up until 4, and then after that it goes negative, so it starts decreasing.
Okay, so you understand that in terms of area under the curve. So we're gonna go through what happened is the idea of maximum. Maximum is f prime of x. The function, derivative function went from positive to negative, right?
Yeah.
So at x equal to 4, then you're gonna say, well, h prime of x change, and that's how you're gonna write on your AP exam. You're gonna say h prime of x or f of x change from positive to negative. And if they want to justify, that's how you're gonna write them. That's how you're gonna write them. If you write them like this, you're gonna get the justification. That's 1 point right there. It's like easy point. But you have to explain them in calculus. They don't want to explain in terms of area under the curve, which is I understand completely. They want you to explain it with first derivative tells you increasing, decreasing, second derivative tells you concave up and concave down. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So x equal to 4. Now, what if I ask you a better question, right? If I ask you what is a maximum value is going to be? So I know you already know, you probably already seen it. So what's h of what is a maximum value? What's the difference between x at maximum and what's the difference between maximum value, right? So value is the output, right? So understand value is output, so that's a very, very important understanding. So although the question is not asking you, but what's the maximum value here? Jordan? What do you think? If we told you x equal to 4 is maximum, but what's the maximum value? Will?
So she need to plug it back in the function.
Okay, good. So plug in what?
Plug in 4.
Okay, so what you're gonna do is plug in 4. So what am I gonna get? Sheila?
I think it's 12.
You think it's 12? Yeah, you are absolutely right. Because this part is gonna be 12 here. Because we're gonna stop at 4 now, so you're gonna get to 12. So therefore your maximum value, although they didn't ask you, because I'm gonna build up for the next one, so the maximum value is gonna be x equal to, value is equal to 12. Now let's go answer D. Okay, so D is a little bit harder. So D says, when does what value x attain its minimum, and what is the minimum value here? Okay, so what do you guys think? Andrew already know, Hong already know, she already know. Let's ask somebody. Let's ask Mina. What do you think?
Oh,
It's okay to be wrong.
is that 13?
Well, actually, that's not too bad. It's actually at 12, but you know it happened at the end. Okay, so you were thinking about where the x-intercept is, but it actually doesn't have to be x-intercept. It just have to be at endpoint. So a lot of time you have to compare the minimum, right? So just pay attention. I'm just gonna make fun of my stock portfolio. It's like if I have something like this, right? This is a minimum, right? But if I go to maybe 2 years out later, at 2 years, I'm gonna go be like this, and that's the new minimum, right? And not just say that's if that's my portfolio. It's like my portfolio is like going like this, right? No, I'm just kidding. So it's make sure you have to check the endpoint. So what is the endpoint here? At 12, right? So x equal to 12. You're going to say d is x equal to 12. And what is the minimum value? Now, this one's actually interesting. What do you guys think a minimum value in this case?
-6.
No.
Which, what is?
12.
What?
You plug 12 back in.
Oh, yeah. Go back to that.
Minimum value or what? Is that not what I just drew, Luca? Is that not what I just
Would it be negative something?
So integration between 0 to 4 of f of x dx is 12, right?
Yeah.
And then, but we want to go all the way to 12. So what does that mean? What do I have left?
You got all the.
Yeah, all the other triangles.
So you got to start taking away, right? So in terms of money, right? This is all the money you gain, right? Like in terms of stock, right? This is money if it's suddenly going up. This is money is gaining, right? If it's coming down, you start losing money. You start taking away from your profits. Okay, let me explain where Luca can kind of make sense, right? So start taking away. If the function is the stock start turning has a maximum, right? Then when it start going down, it depends on how much it go down. Then you start eating away from the profit away from you. I mean, people says buy low so high. It's easy to do,
Oh.
but it's hard to understand. Now this part is becoming like start taking away now, right? So we're gonna use red to represent that.
Except for I showed where it goes.
Okay, and then this part is gonna be here. So I'll show you that the best way to calculate this is a triangle and trapezoid, just adding the area between triangle and trapezoid. So at this case, between, I use a different color code so you can see it. So it's between 4 to 12, and f of x dx. First is going to be the first triangle, which is this triangle right here. Now you can do that. That's going to give you a 1/2 times base times height. So it'll be 3 times 5, right? Oh, 6, sorry. And this is minus though. This is negative. So this is a negative value. So I'm going to subtract more. So this is a trapezoid here. So the trapezoid is a base 1 plus base 2 over 2 times the height. The height is 6. So at this going to give you negative 26.5. So if your integration between 0 to 12 f of t dt is equal to 12 minus 26.5, which is equal to negative 14.5. So that's going to be 14.5 is the minimum. So I think I'll start putting people to sleep. I want you to do number 2, and I want you to do number 3, and then do as much homework as possible. Help out each other. Make sure you understand them. The homework is already posted on Edmodo. So yeah, so this is gonna take 2 days. I want to make sure everybody understands every inch of this.
Okie dokie, artichoke.
Because the graph ends.
We already did number 1, so we have to keep.
The
do it again.
justification is what.
No, you don't have to do. We already did number 1. Then you just need to figure out how to do number 2, number 3. Yeah, this is the homework. Number 4, number 5. And they have all kind of questions here. So we're gonna go in to make sure you guys understand everything.
So since the graph ends here, 12 right here, you would think that it hits 13 later on in the graph, and then goes over, and that's when value, that's when it.
So let's start with number 2. Come on.
And then, but since the graph already